General, we're going to start with you. Let's jump into this. Representatives from Lebanon and Israel are expected to meet in Washington next week, trying to get through this impasse here. Lebanon saying they're only going to take part if there's actually a ceasefire in place. So we see what comes from Saturday, Sunday through the weekend. Prime Minister Netanyahu, he's refusing to stop and hitting Hezbollah in Lebanon. He's demanding that Lebanon starts focusing on disarming Hezbollah. That's been a desire for some time now. Will these demands, are they going to derail the negotiations for the weekend? Because it seems the two almost have to happen simultaneously.
Well, we're in trouble. That's for sure. And we've got two sides that have very different views on how to deal with the Hezbollah problem. I can appreciate the perspective of both sides, quite frankly. With the Israelis, it's, we have seen this saga over and over again. Hezbollah will scrape whatever it can to throw a rocket into Israel. And then on the Lebanese side, you have them who are dealing with a parasite for decades, watching their country go up in flames. They would like to be strong enough to deal with this, and they need help with that. But it's not going to get better unless they get together and actually start to talk through some of this. Not to be overly critical, but I would say that rhetoric does count. The Israeli finance minister made a public speech yesterday saying we're going to be pushing our borders up to the Litani River. That does not help future negotiations when you start talking about moving borders. And so I'm dubious about whether they're going to be able to get to a table. I just hope that they can.
Yeah, General. Well, Brian, let me bring you into this because this is a stretch, and I think a lot of people may not understand that this border between Lebanon and Israel, international policy had stated that this was an area that was supposed to be a buffer zone between the two countries. That has not happened. Hezbollah basically came in, set up shop with their armament, and Israel has a problem with it.
I think Israel should have a problem with it. I mean, when we're talking about Lebanon and what is on Lebanon's southern border, Israel's northern border, it's not the government of Lebanon, it's Hezbollah. And that's a big problem. Hezbollah still has, unfortunately, some pretty significant capabilities. So I think there has to be some kind of buffer zone or just some kind of action, probably actually from within, from the Lebanese government, really going on the offense against Hezbollah. Because the Israelis, I think, can only do so much. So we'll see, as things unfold here, whether the Lebanese government, which is friendly towards Israel, the new Lebanese government, we'll see if they do anything to really hit back against Hezbollah.
Meanwhile, the president pushing out on Truth Social, Iran's doing a very poor job talking about charging in the Strait of Hormuz right now. He said a very poor job, dishonorable, some would say, the president wrote on Truth, allowing oil to go through the Strait of Hormuz. That is not the agreement we have. He also said that they better not be charging the fees to these tankers going through the strait. These are high-stakes talks for the vice president. Anthony, what do you make of it politically? A lot riding on what the vice president's going to do this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, as was mentioned before the segment, I think that Americans should pray for the team heading over there because, as was mentioned, they're going into a danger zone, and I think they're going to enter it as they have been preparing for the last weeks with strength. And I think that the only way to enter into these negotiations is by showing the power of the United States of America, showing the fact that the work that's been done over the last couple of weeks with Iran, that should have been done decades ago. For most of my life, Iran has utilized America and looked at it to cause harm. And the fact is that many presidents on both sides of the aisle toyed with the fact of disarming Iran and taking away its nuclear capabilities and destroying destroying them. And the fact is that President Trump is the only one who is seeing it through. So the vice president has his work cut out for him. He needs to remain safe. He needs to remain strong and show the power of the United States of America. And we're all praying that he'll deliver for all of us here.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.